I am Nick Shell, a certified Enneagram coach. I've got my certification through Cloverleaf, and here's what I want to tell you. Am I the worst Enneagram coach ever? Because here we are on my 41st birthday, and I'm just now a week into accepting and realizing that what I've been saying on all these videos for months has been wrong. I have been saying that I am an Enneagram 7 with an 8 wing. Turns out I'm not. I was close, but I'm actually an 8 with a 7 wing. And I want to talk about that a bit more and explain to you how this guy could actually be an Enneagram 8, because I seem so nice and positive, right? If I'm an Enneagram 8, I'm supposed to be punching through walls and beating people up and getting in bar fights and cursing people out and just be a complete jerk, right? See, what's funny is that's the negative stereotype that I created in my head. So sure enough, in this book that I always talk about, you can click the link right there and get this off of Amazon for like 15 bucks, Enneagram 8 Easy. When I looked at the description of 8, I had already decided, well, I could never be an 8. That's not me. I'm too nice. I'm not an 8. I'm a 7. Well, let's look at this. 8s are motivated by the need to be self-reliant and strong and to avoid feeling weak or dependent. 8s, at their best, are direct, authoritative, loyal, energetic, earthy, protective, self-confident. We look at the 20 questions in the personal inventory. I can be assertive and aggressive when I need to be. I can't stand being used or manipulated. I value being direct and honest. I put my cards on the table. I'm an individualist and a nonconformist. I respect people who stand up for themselves. I will go to any lengths to protect those I love. I fight for what's right. I support the underdog. Making decisions is not difficult for me. Self-reliance and independence are important. I have overindulged in food and drugs. Not drugs, but food. I do keto and I do intermittent fasting. It's 2 o'clock, I haven't eaten anything. But when I finally do eat, I'm gonna eat a lot, and that's how it is every day. People take offense at my bluntness. When I enter a new group, I immediately know who the most powerful person is. Yes, and that was one of the giveaways as I started reading through this. It's not that I'm looking down on people. It's more so, who's in charge here? Because if no one else is, I'm in charge. And then also, who are the weaker people in the room? Because my job is to empower those weaker people. That's what we do as 8s. It's not like we're just taking charge, only when we need to. A lot of times our main thing is to protect people and to empower them. Next on here, I work hard and I know how to get things done. In a group, I am sometimes an observer rather than a participant. Absolutely. Again, I read the energy of the room. If I'm not needed, I'll sit in the back and I'll just go along with stuff because I'm not needed. I'm not here to take over if there's already if there's already good leadership in place. There's no reason for me to challenge that. I like excitement and stimulation. Sometimes I like to spar with people, especially when I feel safe. I am vulnerable and loving when I really trust someone. Overly nice and flattering people bother me. Pretense is particularly distasteful to me. That's me 100%. I'm an 8. But again, I thought there's no way I could be an 8. So I think a lot of people do that when they actually realize their real Enneagram. Maybe they take a test on Cloverleaf. I'll put a link below for Cloverleaf where you can take a test for that. But that was the confirmation for me. I officially took the test. It was very clear. Yeah, you're 8 with 7 wing. Not to mention, my kids have kind of been implying that I might not be a 7, that I might be 8. So is my wife. So is my sister. In fact, she was the first to say, I really thought you've always been an 8. She's like, the first time I read a description about an 8, I thought of you. And as I've pretty much talked about with everybody who knows me closely, it's like, yeah, you're an 8. Now, what throws it off is people who don't know me on such a personal level, like, oh, but you're so nice. You're too nice to be an 8. Well, let's talk about it. I put it in the description there. It's the subtype. I mean, sure, the 7 wing helps. It's the subtype, okay? So first is social and then is sexual or one-to-one. I can't say sexual in the title because I'll get flagged by YouTube and this is a bad video. But that's what it's called. So when you Google this, when you look at subtypes of 8, and knowing that first comes my social subtype, which is the group leader, focuses on friendship and social causes. Absolutely. I want to make sure that I can do the best for my community, to empower them as needed, to respect leadership that is already strong and positive, and if not, I need to intervene and take that place. Second for me is the sexual or the one-to-one subtype, which is known as the commander. And it says possession and surrender. And I think that's ultimately, like I was saying before, with my closer relationships, I want to make sure that I am doing everything I can to help nurture that and be in control of that. It doesn't mean as a challenger, as an 8, that I'm here to disrupt what's going on and take things over. Not at all. It's that here on my 41st birthday, I recognize there are very few things in life you can actually control. You know, who you want to win the Super Bowl, your favorite sports team, which side for politics you want to win. That doesn't actually matter. It doesn't. But what you can control are your relationships. Those in your family, your friends, your social circles. You do have an influence over that. And as an 8, I care about that. I want to enrich that. I want to empower people. I want to help make the most of those things. So I am very positive. And I am very friendly. But ultimately, I happen to be that subtype. And as you will look into it, if you look up that same subtype, so here we go. Enneagram 8, 7 wing, social / sexual or 1-to-1. That's what you're going to find. Is you're going to find those are the 8s that are like me. They're upbeat and encouraging. Now, keep in mind, what is the growth for an 8? It's a 2, the helper. And I need to make separate videos on that. But imagine this. What does a healthy 8 look like? Well, they look like a helper. They're someone who cares about enriching their lives and other people. Now, granted, the negative side of it too would be that they're needy and that sort of thing. But as an 8, in my growth, which is a 2, which again, I'm 41. I've lived a lot of life. I've learned from a lot of mistakes. So 2s at their best are loving, caring, adaptable, insightful, generous, enthusiastic, and tuned into how people feel. So the theory is, I say I'm an 8-7 wing, but what a lot of people see is a 2. That's what they actually see, probably with the 3 wing. I probably present myself that way. You'd have to really know me to know that this is actually an 8 behind here. Now, I'll let you decide based on what you've seen in this video. But here I am, basically saying, hey guys and girls, I've been talking about this Enneagram 7 for a long time, but I'm actually an 8. And by making future videos about this, I'm going to help us all understand better what an Enneagram 8 with 7 wing looks like. Alec Baldwin, Donald Trump, Jack Nicholson. Those are some prime examples. Even Bruce Springsteen, though his subtypes are not the same as mine. But ultimately, there's a different version of Enneagram 8s than we may realize. I can't wait to talk more about it. Leave your comments right here. Again, you can find a link to buy this book. You can find a link to become certified like I have through Cloverleaf. And ultimately, I'll put a link so you can take the test so you can figure out which Enneagram you are. Your comments belong right here.